From his very first unforgettable appearance to vicious revenge, served ice cold. These are Yellowstone's 10 best John Dutton moments. It's no secret Yellowstone's one of TV's biggest, most beloved dramas. And at the heart of it all is a patriarch and defender of the Yellowstone Ranch, John Dutton, played by Academy Award winner Kevin Costner. Let's have a look at his greatest hits while we wait for more episodes. Number 10. The beginning. The introduction to any character is crucial. It lays the foundation for the adventures to follow. We first meet John Dutton in a literal car wreck. A crash on a country road leads to a truck crushing a trailer, injuring and imprisoning one of John's beloved horses. John reaches out a kind hand to console his frightened horse. He speaks softly to her, gentle and reassuring. And then he executes her with a lone gunshot. Talk about starting with a bang. We learn who John is right in the very first moments of this epic show. Resolute, determined, and ruthless, even if he has to destroy something that he loves. After the shooting, John puts on the white cowboy hat of the hero. Can he really be called one? If you think he can, it's a heroism with a dark, twisted sense of morality that will only become more complicated as we follow his saga. Number 9. Rescuing Tate. The Beck brothers are one of the Duttons' most hated enemies, and their ongoing feud is a key storyline in Yellowstone. They have gone too far, though, when they kidnap John's grandson Tate. To get revenge, John shoots older brother Malcolm Beck as he runs away. John sits with Malcolm while he slowly, painfully bleeds out, only to walk away in Malcolm's final moments, leaving him to die alone. Number 8. Season 3's cliffhanger. Fans were left desperate at the end of the third season, which saw a massive, coordinated attack on several members of the Dutton family. While daughter Beth was sent a bomb and son Casey had gunmen enter his office, John was ambushed on the side of the road and shot multiple times. We left John for the season totally alone, wounded, and struggling to breathe. For months, they made us wait. Months! When we finally returned for season 4, John was still there, watching vultures circling overhead, but having used his own blood to write down the license plate number of his attackers. No one can hold a grudge like the Yellowstone gang. But this was a smart move that ultimately helped the Duttons do what the Duttons do best: punish anyone who gets in their way. This leads us to our next best moment. Number 7. Showdown at the Diner. It's a Western, okay? We need a shootout every now and again. And damn do we get one in this scene. John and Rip see a robbery taking place inside a diner. And, like cowboys of old, they bust in to save the day. After years of Rip and John being the cause of so much violence for some dubious reasons, to see a moment where they seemed to be doing the right thing was a shock for fans and a reminder of the depths of these characters and the Yellowstone world. Number 6. You really disappointed me, honey. Remember the horse from the pilot? John's willing to say goodbye to whoever he has to, painful as it may be. After his daughter Beth gets John's unlikely romantic interest, animal activist Summer put in jail, the usually stoic John is furious. Beth, true to form, is initially unrepentant about her actions, until John threatens to put the dining room table through the wall. It's a rare moment where we see the anger that's always beneath the surface. John tells Beth to leave and find another home. For a man who puts family first, we know just how deeply Beth has wounded her father. Number 5. The Tourist. It's not hard, people. Stay off Yellowstone Ranch. Way back in season 1, when John sees that a group of tourists have not only trespassed past his fence, but are standing and taking pictures mere feet away from a massive grizzly bear, John pulls over to give them that good, old-fashioned Yellowstone welcome, meaning being really rude and yelling at them. When they aren't responsive, he fires his rifle into the air. It doesn't seem to do anything to the bear, but it sure does startle those tourists. Man, they really take off. Number 4. Governor of Spite. Shows the lengths to which John Dutton will go to get what he wants, including, get this, running for governor of Montana. Okay, It's partly to protect his land, but it's also to show up his son Jamie, who believes that he's about to secure the position. In a true orchestration of humiliation, Jamie's literally walking down the stairs to his press room, thinking he's about to receive an endorsement, and that his family's there to witness the moment. Nope. If Jamie's evil villain origin story hadn't already begun, I'd say it started here, when instead of him achieving his dream, he watches his own father get the endorsement. Okay, I'm petty, I'll admit it, but this is a whole new level. Teach me, John Dutton, teach me your ways. Number 3, Rip. Rip's been a devoted part of the Dutton clan ever since John took him in as a teen. Near the end of Season 1, we learn Rip's come from a tragic, bloody past to become the strongest of ranch hands. The relationship between Rip and John is one of gratitude and kindness, but it's also one John's willing to manipulate to serve his own needs. And it's always been unspoken but clear that Rip wasn't adopted the way that Jamie was, until in one of the most heartfelt moments of the show, John writes Rip a letter, giving him a house that was owned by John's deceased son Lee, and making it clear that Rip is finally a part of the Dutton family. It's not often that we get to see that vulnerable side of John Dutton. He can be a man of few words, but one of the most meaningful of those words was when John finally called Rip son. Number 2, The Promise. Speaking of words, this is where it begins. And for John, that'll be why and where it ends. In a flashback, we see John telling his ailing father that he will never give up the ranch, not even a single inch of it. It's a simple promise, but one that holds the Duttons to one hell of a life, because John would rather lose it than break it. And the number 1 best John Dutton moment? The biker's punishment. In Season 3, a gang of California bikers set up on the Dutton land and refused to leave. After a brutal fight with Rip and the ranch hands, the bikers decide to take their revenge by burning the Dutton property. But when they arrive in the dead of night, John's already waiting for them and says, "This is my home. If I did this to your home, what would you do?" When the biker says he'd kill John, John responds, "That's right." The bikers try to leave, but it's too late. At gunpoint, John makes them dig their own graves. After they're finished, he lets the bikers flee, but makes it clear that he'll fill the holes if they ever come back to Montana. Is it mercy? Is it restraint? Or is it cold cruelty? And a way of spreading word that if you mess with John Dutton, you'll pay the price. It's another moment where it may be a question as to whether John Dutton's a hero or a villain, but there's no question that he is a 100% certifiable badass. With spin-offs and more seasons to come, we'll hopefully see more highs and lows from this awesome anti-hero. But for now, from a kill that might be merciful to mercy that feels deadly, those were Yellowstone's 10 best John Dutton moments.